Welcome Fit Club family to Fit Club Remote. I'm very proud of each and every one of you that you are here. We're going to go ahead and get started with our warm-up today. We're going to begin with a side.
The next workout will begin in 60 seconds. Please proceed to a station.
Beautiful. And then we're going to add another step, meaning we're going to do 2 of these to the right, then 2 of these to the left. And it'll look like this. We go right, then right again, left, then left again. A little bit of a salsa. Good. Beautiful. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Beautiful. We're just going to add a little high knee here. Just 1 on either side. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. Nice. So today, I think I'm going to change it up a little bit. It's going to be just a little bit different. We're going to be adding some cardio intervals in between the strength stuff. It's going to be fun. You're going to keep up. Good. Keep that core nice and tight. We're just getting started nice and smooth and gentle here. Good. Let's bring the hands up behind the head. And we're going to add a little twist. Just 1, 1, 2, 3, twist. 1, 2, 3, twist. Good. Keeping that belly button in. Of course. And this is our physical inventory. We're just thinking about our shoulders. They're back and down. The chest is nice and open. The core is tight. Neck is long. We're standing up nice and tall. Elbows are wide.
Stop. Exercise.
And we got 4, and 3, and 2, and let's go into a hamstring curl. We bring it back. Back, hands to the chest. Good.
Begin set 2.
Palms up and open. We're going to pull those elbows back. 1, 1. Every time the heel comes back, we add a row. Bring the elbows close to the body first, squeezing the shoulder blades every time. And then do a little experiment. We're going to bring the elbows wide and just see how that feels on the shoulder today. We've got the equipment we'll need. Light hand weights or bottles of water or cans of soup, whatever you've got. If you have a mat, hope you do. Beautiful.
Stop. Exercise.
4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. We're going to go over proper squat form. Now, if you have sensitive knees, you don't need to go too deep here. I'm going to turn on a diagonal so you can see what my knees are doing as well as my hips. Toes are pointing.
Begin set 3.
Pretty much straightforward. Feet are a little bit wider than hip distance apart. We send the weight back into the heels first. We get this hinge before anything else happens. Not hinging too deep. We don't want the chest to be coming all the way down like this. Weight back, then you bend your knees. Back and down, drive through the heels, squeeze the butt up top. So then they'll kind of drive their knees forward first and sweep their hips forward. You always want to trace the same path of movement.
Exercise.
Good. Beautiful. And let's just pick it up a little bit faster. So if your knees are sensitive, you are more than welcome to do a half squat here. Good. Keep that core nice and tight, and you do want to make sure that you're not just coming up and leaving the butt out in space. You do want to pull the hips all the way underneath you. Gives your lower back a little reprieve, which you'll need as we get into our first set. Because remember, we're adding cardio intervals, baby. So, if you've got the squats down, we're approaching the end of our warm-up here. Hopefully, heart rate's up a little bit. Maybe you have a gorgeous little flush. And we're going to
stop exercise
3,
and switch to the next
2,
station.
1. We're going to hold the squat back and down. Weight stays in the heels. And we're going to pulse and pulse. Good. Chest is nice and high. Notice I'm not too deep here. And check the knees. We always want to make sure that those knees are on the same plane as the toes. Set 1 has begun. So if you're not pulsing already, go ahead and start. Good. So we basically never want the knees to fall in or to flare out. Want nice, straight in line, and pulsing. Beautiful. And those thighs should start to burn. Maybe your heart rate comes down just a little bit. That's gonna change for set 2. During the break, I will show you what to do.
Stop, exercise.
Good. Go ahead and come up, take a quick little break. Set 2, we're going to squat and bring the chest down. You're gonna tap your front foot. And then you're gonna come up, switch stance, squat. Come up, switch stance, squat.
Begin set
1,
2.
2, 3, 4.
Nicole, you're muted.
My goodness, have I been muted this whole time?
No, not the whole time, but just
That's weird. I literally could not have done that. All right, pulsing those squats. So for people who have healthy knees, you want to try to get a little bit deeper. You can bring your feet a little bit farther apart. And I want you to imagine like your feet are on plates and you're trying to rotate the plates apart. And get low. And pulsing down here. Now, if going this deep bothers your knees, don't do it. Stay up here, it's totally fine.
Stop, exercise.
And there's the break. Excellent. For set 4, we're gonna go into our squat taps again. This time I'm gonna show you the high impact version. Completely optional. You do not have to do this. It can be this, or it can be
Begin
this.
set 4.
Tap, switch. Tap, switch. Soft, soft landings. Good. And you'll notice I'm using my back arm to swing up and around. Oops, I tapped my back foot. And front foot, switch. You don't have to do that. You can continue to give me your switch stances. Low impact, just like this.
Stop, exercise,
Woo.
and switch to the next stage.
Good. All right, we're gonna come down to the mat. Plank time. So, similar to before, we're gonna start with a basic plank. And then we'll move into the more fun stuff. Again, my version of fun.
Begin set
Am
1.
I gonna make that joke every time? Probably. All right, nice flat lower back. Again, always want to be certain that we are not bowing the lower back. Tailbones tucked, glutes are squeezed, shoulders away from the ears, and stacked right on top of the elbows. Fix mine a little bit. Lacing your hip bones and your rib bones together in the front of the body. Really better.
Stop, exercise.
Fine. There's the break. Knees down first. Optional. You can come up onto your hands for this next one. I'm going to, or you can stay on your elbows, which is better for the wrists, but it is more challenging on the elbows.
Begin set 2.
Set 2. We're going to walk out the feet, then walk in the feet. Out, in. Notice the pace. 1, 2, hold. 1, 2, hold. 1, 2. Good. 1, 2. Here comes that heart rate. 1, 2. 1, 2. Good. All the same rules apply. You're still doing a perfect, beautiful plank. We're just adding footwork.
Stop, exercise.
Drop your knees. Hips back. Oh. See, I'm starting to sweat. I thought I was done sweating for today. Guess not. I shouldn't have made that assumption. All right, back down to the elbows.
Begin
Normal
set
plank.
3.
Really take advantage of your breaks here. The stuff I'm teaching you today is hard. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Again, tailbone's tucked, glutes are squeezed, cinching your hip bones to the bottom of your rib. And if you like, once you kind of have the form down, you can do one of two things. Hyper focus on your core, or start thinking of other stuff. Sing a little song to yourself.
Stop, exercise.
Knees down, hips back. Good. Set 4, back to the feet. This time, optional, high impact version. Don't have to do it. You can either
Begin set
do
4.
this, or jack, jack. 1, 2. 1, 2. Notice the pace again. I'm not asking for this. Not fat feet. Not fast feet. Couple things here. Do your very best not to pop your hips up and down every time like this. You want to keep a nice tight plank while you're working.
Stop, exercise, and switch to the
Beautiful.
next
Stay
station.
back. And here comes a little bit of recovery. So we're going to work the glutes and hamstrings. We're not going to add any cardio to this portion because I think you've earned a little breather. So set 1, just going to hold a hip bridge for me.
Begin set 1.
Set 1 is begun. Lying down on your back. Arms at your sides. Drive through those heels. Pick those hips up. Now for this one, we're going to begin with a full range of motion. So we're going to go all the way down. We're going to tap the mat. Squeeze the glutes hard. Drive all the way up. Hinge the glutes together. It is slow, full, but you're never completely resting your hips down on
Stop,
the mat.
exercise.
You're just tapping and then back up again, feather light. Now she's set to take a break. You notice I'm still going. You are welcome to take a break, especially if you really need it after that cardio interval work.
Begin set 2.
Good, set 2, hold and pulse. Pulse and pulse. Reminder, as always, pulses are not bouncy. You want to make sure that you're smooth, you're very controlled, as if you're working underwater. And at the end of set 2, if you've opted to keep going through the break, we're going to take a little break at the end of set 2. Things are going to get slightly more difficult, not huge.
Stop, exercise.
Beautiful. Drop the hips, release. Good. Sets 3 and 4, we're going to do an Irish jig while we're doing our bridges. So here's how it works. Hips are up. Bring your feet a little bit closer together for this one.
Begin set 3.
Hips are up. You're going to pick your right foot up, and then you're going to tap the left knee with your heel, and then drop. Good. And get that height again. Left knee up, tap the heel, drop the left foot down. Right knee up, tap the heel, drop your right knee down. Good. Moving slow, because you really do want to pay attention to the supporting hamstring and give it the chance to take on a lot of work.
Stop, exercise.
Keep going if you can. This is recovery, but it's active recovery. Still want it to be work. It's just not cardio work. Good.
Begin set 4.
Tap, bring it down. Excellent. At the end of set 4, we're going to go ahead and come on up to standing. And we will grab our weights. We're going to do a little bit of a combo move next. And down. Up, tap, and down. Good. Belly button is in. Driving all that work through.
Stop
the
exercise
hamstring.
and switch to the next
Gorgeous.
station.
Very slowly drop your hips, roll to your side to come to standing. And grabbing weights. We're going back into the cardio / strength. So we're going to begin with a nice wide stance, toes turned out. Arms are in front of the body with the palms turned facing away from you. We're going to start with some bicep curls. Now, if your knees are sensitive, you're more than welcome to stay right here. However, if your knees are healthy, go and give me a sumo squat. For your sumo squat, same kind of rules. You want the knees and the toes on the same plane. I'll turn slightly on a diagonal so you can see how I achieve it. I'm a little bit tight in my hips, so I do have to send my butt back slightly. And bicep curls up and down. Gorgeous.
Stop exercise.
And come on up to standing. Keep the weights really close to the body, very close to the chest. Lace your hands together and bring your feet together. We're going to do out, out, in, out, out, in. 1,
Begin set
1,
2.
2. Now you may kind of recognize this move from those plank jacks that we just did. But the big difference here is that we're going to just pick up the pace. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Coming up on the toes, holding onto the weights, because this challenges the core. And even with low impact work, if you're holding weights while you're doing it, it makes it more challenging. However, if your lower back doesn't like it, you can put the weights down carefully. You will pick them up again for set 3, which is in 3, 2, 1. Good, grab the weights again. Find your wide stance, find your bicep curl. Those with knee injuries, just the bicep curl. Those without, come on down.
Begin set 3.
Beautiful. We're doing all the variety today. Good. Gorgeous. Now I have a high impact version for people, the cardio. However, if you're opting for high impact, I'm gonna have you put the weights down in a place where you're not gonna trip over them. Be mindful. Core is nice and tight, elbows stay close to the body. Nice and tall in that spine, beautiful. And I'm gonna put the weights down. Keep in mind, if you wanna hold on to them and keep doing this bad boy, that's absolutely fine. But higher impact version, we're going to jack it out, jack it in, out, and
Begin
in.
set 4.
If you want an in-between, 1, 2, 1, 2 is often effective for people who want more than this, but aren't ready for this. Good. Notice I'm adding a little pulse in between, similar to 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And if you're really crazy, you can double time. Bring it out, in, optional, not required. And here comes that heart rate again. My goodness.
Stop exercise and
Yes.
switch to the next
Beautiful.
station.
You're going to grab one of your weights. You're going to hold that in your right hand. Left foot is going to stay forward. Right foot goes way back. Almost a runner's lunge. Nice soft front knee. You're going to brace a hand against that knee and bring your
Begin
chest
set
forward.
1.
You're going to give you a row. Squeezing the shoulder blade into the spine. Now here's the thing about rows. Whoop. It's a trapezius exercise. The trapezius is the big muscle that supports and controls the upper back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. It's a big, strong muscle. So if your weight is light, you're going to keep pace with me. 1, 2, 1, 2. Squeeze
Stop
and
exercise.
squeeze for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that weight to the chest. Tighten up your feet just a little bit. You're gonna bring that back foot in and tap. In and tap. Good. Now that front knee doesn't have to be super
Begin set
deeply bent.
2.
Good. And once you find your balance, you're gonna pick it up. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Now, if you feel a little bit crazy, you wanna try it, I'm gonna give me a knee. 1 knee, one knee. Notice I'm not putting my weight on that back foot. I'm just tapping it down. And if you feel even crazier, that knee can come up and give you a little hop. Keep the weight close to the body, not out here. Good. For 3, 2,
Stop exercise.
1. Good. Take a real break here. You're going to switch the weight to your left hand. This time, and I'll actually keep facing the other way so you can see, this time the right foot is going to be the one that is forward. Left foot way back into
Begin set 3.
Hand against the thigh, chest slightly forward, and row, row. Back is nice and flat, no curved spine, it's no good. Keep the chest nice and open. Core is engaged, neck is nice and long, and keep pace. 1, 2, 1, 2. The elbow is grazing the rib cage. It's not out here to the side. 1, 2, 1, 2. Squeeze, squeeze. You're trying to pull that shoulder blade into your spine for 3, 2, 1. Weight to the chest. Bring your body weight over more forward onto the right foot. And we're going to tap and tap, tap and tap. Once again.
Begin set 4.
Very nice. Let's double time. Here we go. Back. Feather light taps. A little bit of balance work as well, clearly. And if you're ready, you know what's coming next. Knee, knee, knee. Good. That right leg should start to burn. Again, the knee is not deeply bent, but it is not straight. It is not locked. Soft knee is going to get that thigh burning. And add that hop if you're ready. Only if you're ready. Again.
Stop exercise
Completely optional.
and switch to the next
3,
station.
2, 1. Good. Get a sip of water. That was 2 cardio interval exercises in a row. We're going to recover now.
Begin set 1.
Go ahead and grab your weights for me. You're going to bring them up to the shoulders. We're going to start an arm series. If you worked out with me last time, this will feel kind of familiar. But don't worry, we're not doing any one thing for too long. Shoulder pulses. Not too high up above the deltoids. Making sure that the weights are always stacked right on top of your elbows, that they're not falling in or flaring out. It's not so good for the rotator cuff. If you want to go wide, you can. Good.
Stop
Making
exercise.
sure that core is nice and tight, the glutes are squeezed. For 3, 2, and 1. Good, bring the weights in. You're going to send one leg back, and we're going to do a rear fly with a bent elbow. So this is a regular rear fly. I'm going to have you do this. It's almost like a wide row. Now, if for whatever reason your back doesn't like this, your shoulder doesn't like this, I'd like you to come up a little bit, give me pulses narrow to the body. Either way, we're hitting the rear deltoid, that's the back of the shoulder. Beautiful. Little squeezes of that shoulder blade, elbows are coming out to 90 degrees, looks like this. It's almost like you're
Stop
making a
exercise.
little goalpost here. Good, come on up to standing. Back to the shoulder pulses. Weights right on top of the elbows, and pulse, pulse, pulse. Now, if you found this a little too easy, you can come up a little higher. Give me pulses right up here.
Begin set 3.
But for a lot of people, that can start to bother the neck and the upper back. And especially if you have shoulder injuries, you're going to stay right down here. Little low pulses. And again, we don't want to bounce. Making sure they're smooth and controlled, but you're still constantly working. And that should start to burn those deltoids. Good. We're going to go back into the flies once again. I'm going to face the other direction, which essentially just means I'm switching which foot was forward. So before I had this foot forward, this time I have this foot forward. Whoop, chest down. And this time I am going to have everybody do, I changed my mind, I'm going to have everybody do the pulses back.
Begin set 4.
To hit a little bit of tricep, don't you? I'm pretending you're all agreeing with me. Again, core is nice and tight. No curved shoulder. And the shoulders themselves are down, away from the ears. Neck is nice and long. Now you can hold your gaze in any position you prefer. Here, I find a little stressy, so I'll just try to keep my skull in line with my spine. Ooh, that burns.
Stop exercise and
Boom.
switch to the next.
And we are gonna come down to the mat for our ab work. Place your weights down mindfully and carefully. We're gonna lie down on our back. All right, so
Begin set 1.
at 90 degrees, arms in a steeple position up toward the ceiling. We're gonna do a full extension of both arms and the one leg, and then we're gonna come in real slowly. Now here's what we wanna focus on. Of course, as you've heard many times, the lower back stays flat on the floor. The leg that's on the ground, this one here, is lightly pressed to the ground. If you drive really hard through the foot,
Stop
it's going to
exercise.
take all the work out of the abs. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Lower back stays down. Take your full break here.
Begin set 2.
And full extension. Move slowly. Moving quickly doesn't serve us here at all. Good. And you'll notice this is pretty similar to a dead bug. It's kind of like doing half of a dead bug. But with both arms going overhead, I really want you to pay attention to the upper abdominals just below the rib cage. As the arms go, it has a tendency to want to pop the rib cage up. Your job is to make sure that the abs are engaged
Stop exercise.
so much that when the arms are overhead, the ribs stay flat and you should feel some added resistance in the upper abdominals. Good, we're gonna go to set 3. You can stick with what I've just shown you if you like, or if you want a progression, we'll do this. We're gonna grab one weight
Begin set
in
3.
both hands. Instead of one leg being up in the air, you're gonna do both. Nice 90 degrees, with the knees right on top of the hips. And we're going to extend and come in. Good. Now, if that's a little bit too much, but the other one was too easy, you're gonna let one leg extend and then come in, followed by the other one. But for those people who are pretty advanced, keeping that lower back down and extending the legs at the same time.
Stop exercise.
Now you notice I didn't do quite a full, and take your break here, I didn't do quite a full extension of my legs. Like I didn't come all the way out here. If you can do that without bothering your lower back, you're welcome to, but I'm demonstrating sort of
Begin
a
set
halfway,
4.
here's set 4. I'm demonstrating a halfway extension, which I think for many people is gonna work a little bit better. It's still real challenging for the lower abdominals, but not quite so stressful on the lower back. But remember, you have lots of modifications available to you. You can do one leg, or you can put one foot on the floor. All of those are available. Just because I tell you to, you don't have to. Belly button in.
Stop exercise.
Boom!
Your training is now complete.
Gorgeous. Bring the weight to your chest, then gently set it to your side. You're going to give me a pelvic tilt, flattening the lower back, and then you're going to very gently roll up into a bridge. That's going to stretch your ab muscles. Drop the hips down slowly. Pull one knee into the chest, followed by the other. Stretch out the lower back. Keeping those knees in real close, you're going to give me a steeple with your hands and let those hands drop all the way out to the side, making the letter T. Feel that open your chest. And then you're going to take that letter T, you're going to sweep your arms all the way up next to your ears. Now you're making the letter I. It should be a nice little stretch for that upper body. Good, big breath in. Very gently soften the elbows first, bring the hands into the chest. Go ahead and roll over onto your side, or, you can wait first. And then you're gonna come up and say hi. And who we got? Ooh, I see Georgianne.